In this video, we're going to talk through 5 massive mistakes mid to high handicap golfers make when spending money on new golf clubs. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson and welcome back to Get Good at Golf. Guys, in today's video, we're going to talk through driver, hybrids, irons, wedges and putters because mid handicap golfers make so many mistakes when spending this money, and golf stuff isn't cheap anymore. We want to make sure you're getting the best value for your money and also the best golf clubs for your game. Let's kick things off with Big Dog because this is what everyone wants to know about. Guys, the big thing here is go and get fitted for your driver. It's so easy when you see the latest release, when you see the new TaylorMade, the new Ping, the new Callaway, the new Mizuno, the new PXG, to think, you know what, I'm going to go and buy that because I like the look of it. Rory McIlroy uses it, or maybe not. Justin Thomas uses it, or maybe not. And someone else, big name, uses it. That doesn't mean to say it's going to suit you. You need to make sure, first of all, you get the right head design. So there might be a low spin model, there might be a standard model, there might be a max forgiveness model, there might even be a draw bias model. You also need to make sure you get the right loft. Do you need 9, 9.5, 10, 11, 12 degrees? Do you need a high launch model? Do you need an adjustable driver as well so you can tweak it if you play a links course? Do you sometimes want to bring that ball flight down? These are all things you need to look at, and that's before you even look at the engine of the club, the shaft. Do you need a regular shaft? Do you need a graphite shaft? You probably will buy a graphite shaft in a driver, but what torsional stiffness do you need? Do you even know what torsional stiffness means and how important it could be to you squaring your club face up? Do you need a hazardous 6? Do you need a hazardous 6.5, a 5.5, a 5? You can see I'm talking fast here because there's so many different things you need to know about. If you go and get fitted for your driver by a PGA professional, they know all this, you don't need to know it. They will just make sure you end up leaving with the best driver for you. That might be down to the head, that might be down to the shaft. It also might be down to the grip you choose as well. I don't just mean multi-compound, Lampkin, Crossline, all those models. I actually mean, what thickness do you have? Do you have extra tape on it? Do you have a mid-size grip? Do you have a jumbo grip? Do you have arthritis that sometimes maybe means you can't grip the club as you want? All these factors play a huge role in where your golf ball goes, but also play a huge role in what driver you might want to buy. So guys, make sure you do go and try an array of drivers. Don't just jump straight in two-footed like a Roy Keane tackle, and make sure you hit the best drives of your life if you are going to spend that kind of money. Guys, really sorry, I forgot something about the driver. You don't need adjustable weighted drivers. I'm going to go out there and say you don't need them. You're going to pay more money for them. If you go and get fitted and you gain a little bit of smash factor because you strike the ball off centre and moving the weight helps, then fantastic, but it's always going to be more expensive for an adjustable weighted driver. You don't always need it. You don't have to go for the more expensive one just because it's more of a premium. Make sure you don't get sold you need an adjustable driver to play better golf. You don't always need it. Even some of the world's best players don't play the adjustable weighted version because they've no need to. I forgot to get that in. That's a huge factor that could save you a lot of money that you could then spend on lessons, green fees and golf balls to make sure you get good at golf. Now Chris is going to talk you through hybrids or 7 woods or long irons because mid handicappers are terrible generally when it comes to choosing these golf clubs.
So the next clubs you'll be looking at in your golf bag after a driver is fairway woods, long irons, and this is where a lot of amateurs get it wrong. Are you somebody who has a 3-wood in your golf bag that is never used? Is it brand new, still got the cover on it as good as, because you're not confident with it off the tee, you're not confident with it off the fairway, and that's where we need to start looking at other options. So here we've got a 5-wood. It is adjustable, so we can give this a little bit more loft, a little bit less, depending on how confident and what you've been working on with your swing. This is a par 4 here at Waterfront where we're not hitting driver. It's a little bit narrower down there, so we would be better off with something like a fairway wood. But you might not go for a fairway wood, you might be someone who favours a hybrid. You might like the look of a hybrid, it's a little bit of a shorter shaft and you might actually get a better strike and more consistent distance. So you have to go and test those out and see which one's the most consistent, which gets the best strike and which one is giving you the best dispersion, because it's all down to performance. But we don't want to just pick a club just like the driver just because, oh right, I've seen, well, McIlroy's got a driver, 3-wood and a 5-wood, so that means I need to get a driver, a 3-wood, and a 5-wood. It's not always the case. You need something that's going to suit you. There is other options such as 4-woods out there. Not as often seen in most people's bags, but there's a lot of tour pros that use them, but they're not maybe advertised as much. I like this 5-wood. I've gone for this because it is very versatile and it allows me to be able to hit it high, hit it low, and also change that loft depending on the golf course that I'm playing at. So, just like that, guys, a nice and easy club to hit for me. You need to think about in your bag which one's going to be the most
ladies
consistent.
and gentlemen, is a child. That is a terrible haircut as well, isn't it? Terrible haircut. This is going in as well. In fact, that's 3 bad haircuts, that.
3 bad trims, yeah, Frankie's Bouffant.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
So after these woods or fairway metals or hybrids or long irons, you need to then be thinking about what kind of iron setup have you got, which is going to help you get good at golf. And James is going to take you through that now.
So guys, we've spoken driver, we've spoken top end of the bag, long irons, hybrids, 7 woods, 5 woods and all the rest. Now what about irons? Because I see so many mid to high handicap golfers who want to play the sexiest irons in the world. They want to play the best looking irons possible. And yes, we all have that desire. We all want to make sure we are playing something which hits the spot, so to say. But we also need to make sure we have something where you can hit the sweet spot, so they say, and play your best golf. You see, if you go and buy bladed irons, if you go and buy just the cheapest irons possible, it might be an old blade set, an old set of Mizunos, an old set of Nikes, an old set of Titleists, you're never going to really play your best golf if you don't hit them out the middle. If you go for something like this is just an idea because I had it in the car, but it's a cavity back iron with a little bit stronger loft on it. It's going to help you hit the ball a little bit further, even if you don't get it out the middle of the club face, and that's what it's all about. If you're a mid-high handicap golfer, you're trying to improve, yes, you might be having lessons, yes, one day you might be able to get into those blades that you so want to play, but at the moment you need to have a set of irons that are going to help you play your best possible golf. Now that doesn't necessarily mean to say it's going to be huge game improvement irons. It also doesn't mean to say it's going to be cavity backs, but you know yourself, or in fact you might not know yourself. You need to go, guys, and get fitted. If you go and get fitted for the correct irons, you're never really going to go wrong. You might even go split set. You might go cavity back long irons into some slight muscle backs in the short irons. That way you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You go and get fitted, you can try all the heads, and the best part about that is you're going to make sure you get the right shaft. Once again, like I mentioned with the driver, make sure you get the right grip. From there you're going to work on the lie angle, you're going to work on the length, and just make sure that you have the best possible clubs, so if you don't quite have your A game, you're still going to get that ball progressing towards your target like that one.
So we're now down talking wedges. So wedges are a massive thing that people overlook. How many of you have gone 4 fittings, 4 wedges? Because that's a main part of your bag that you need to get correct. So you've got to look at what kind of iron sets, what kind of makeup have you got, and then you can figure out how many wedges you actually need. James has given me his favourite.
The best wedge in the world ever.
The 60 degree here, and you've got to think from your pitching wedge, is your pitching wedge 44 degrees, is it 43, is it 46?
Might be 39 now.
Say that it could be
modern day.
You've got to think about what wedge you need to go to next. Do you need a 48 degree because your wedge is 44, then do you need a 52 or do you need a 50? You have to match that in and think about what golf course you play at. It's also going to affect what kind of bounce you have on there. If you're playing links golf, you're going to probably have a totally different setup to somebody who's playing a parkland course, because we might not be able to generate the same kind of strike. And then we need to be looking at, do we need a 60? Do we need something with this much loft? James always needs a 60, but for most mid-handicap golfers, you're going to be better, like we've already mentioned, getting better clubs at the top end of your bag. Do you need a few more hybrids? Do you need something that's going to get you close to the greens to start with? And then we can maybe get rid of one of these clubs, get rid of the 60, and do all the shots we want with a 56. And then we're going to be a little bit more consistent around the edge of the greens, but we're also going to have a better makeup at the top end of your bag. So now let's get onto the greens, let's do a little bit of putting and talk about what kind of putters you should be looking at and what's going to help you get good at golf. So when we are talking putters, we need to talk about the big elephant in the room. Is when everybody starts playing golf, when everyone goes out there, plays with their friends, they always tell you if you're struggling with your putting, you need the biggest putter, you need something face balanced, which is that right there, and that's going to help you putt better and hole more putts. That is not always the case when you are putting. You will need to think mainly when putting is we want a putter that aims you good, so you can aim straight, you can aim exactly where you want it to go. Then also you've got a putter that is the correct length. So if I was 6'5", it would be no good for me to have a 32-inch putter. I will be very much then in this kind of posture, and it's going to be very hard for me to get a consistent strike. The same with if I was very short, we wouldn't need a 36, 37-inch putter. That's not going to help us generate a strike. Out of interest though, Chris,
I do have a 35-inch putter, and we know that that suits my posture better, even though I'm only 5'9" at a push.
And that's it. A lot of times now people are getting too far over the ball, the eye line gets outside, and from there we see a lot of people have a motion that works there, and we cut across and the putter vanishes behind the leg. If you're somebody who feels like you are a little bit too far over the ball, go and get fitted. It's another golf club that isn't fitted. Well, 90% of people, I would say, haven't been for a putter fitting, and which is the golf club we use the most in the bag? It is this club. This is the one we're going to be using the most in a round of golf, so we need to make sure that you get something that aims you good, is the correct length, so not only can you hole a few more putts from this distance, but also we can be more consistent when we are further away from the hole, because for most mid-handicap golfers, even low-handicap golfers, you're going to save shots on your score if we can get rid of those 3 putts. If I can get the ball close to the hole there and be able to come down confidently even and knock that in for a 2-putt, that's going to save you shots, that's going to help you lower your scores, guys, and that's going to help you get good at golf. So when you're thinking about your golf bag, when you're thinking about the setup, make sure you get fitted, but don't just get things because you've seen your favourite player on TV using them.